refresh your screen. Torin, what's up, man? I see you in the building. All right, that's a bit. All right. There you go. I see you, bro. All right, I'm about to hang up now. Y'all, what's going on? Yo. Hey, Maggie, how you doing? Welcome to the Ridin with Purpose show. We get started in a few minutes. Let's get some little music rolling since we ride with purpose tonight. Showtime's not really the 7 o'clock. But I like to get in here early, that way it get, no, you good, bro. Hold up. Yes, sir.
We good?
Yes, sir. Yo, KP, I see you in the building. Hold on, bro. Let me get a little music going. Give me a few minutes. Invite some folks in real quick. Thank y'all for tuning to another edition of Ridin with Purpose.
Am I too dark?
If you got a little bit more light to light your face up, bro, that'll be good. But if you don't, no pressure. I'm about to send it. I'm about to send this to your page for the people that said they wanted to tune in. Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome. Tune into another edition of Ridin with Purpose. Tonight we're gonna talk about the value of mentorship. Thank you guys for joining. Let's see. Oh, that's one of my other OGs, Colin. 6:56, guys. We'll be starting here shortly. Starting shortly.
Good?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you good. You good, Frat. You good. All right, let me just drop this down. I'm just sharing it out everywhere. All right. Man, what's up, Blue?
Can't call it, man. What's going on with you, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good, bro. The weather nice here in Hot Atlanta, man. How about where you at, bro?
Man, it's overcast and raining, but but you know, it's like 79 degrees, so it's good. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, we're not gonna prolong the time. Man, first I want to just say, bro, thank you for coming on, man. Bro,
Thanks for having me,
truly,
bro.
it's truly an honor, bro. I'm gonna tell you, I was like, man, you know, your brother love you, man, when he put the game, when he put you ahead of the game. And I know you're a Saints fan. I
look,
said,
look. When I see the time, I was like, oh man.
hey, I said, I know that ninja love me, boy.
For real, for real.
I said, I know he love me.
For real. It's all good.
Yeah, man. So, bro, I appreciate it, man. I said a quick prayer. I said, man, I don't cheer for the Saints, but Lord, let them win tonight because my brother coming on for me. You
There
know
you
what I
go. Hey,
mean?
we take all prayers, man. We need them.
For sure, no doubt, man. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's 6:59, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Just a quick story, man. I've known Demetrius for over 10 years, well over 10 years now, and our relationship started. It started a little rocky, just a little rocky. I was still young at the time. I was still kind of young at the time, and she says too, doing too much. I was still a little young at the time, still a little hothead, fresh off the block, lack of better terms. And so I didn't want to listen. My chest was all puffed out. I thought I knew everything, and you couldn't tell me nothing. But over time, man, this brother played a huge part in my life early when I was in the phases of just trying to figure things out in life and trying to be a man. And I always looked at this brother as a big brother, a mentor, spiritual guide, and I wanted to bring him on because, like I told you guys, I'm only bringing people on here that have inspired me, that have played an important part in my life, or people who I model myself after. I appreciate their work ethic and things that they offer, and so I wanted to bring him on just to talk about that mentorship piece, because I feel like in life it is so important to have a mentor, and I'm blessed to be able to have mentors, a few mentors in different areas in my life. But I would say Demetrius is my overall mentor in all areas. I can reach out to him for almost anything. Any situation or anything I'm going through, I can reach out and he's always there. He's consistent. And that's one thing I would like to tell you guys. If you have a mentor, you search for a mentor, consistency is key. Now, I'm not saying you got to just call your mentor about every single thing, because just like D, he makes me walk through stuff. Like, he don't tell me like, you need to do this, do this. He makes me walk through it. And then we dialogue on what worked, what didn't work, and then he coaches and develops me from there. And so at this time, I like to present to you guys the reason you see me here is because of this brother, and we'll dive into that now, is because of this brother here. So I want to welcome you guys, my mentor, Demetrius Ruffin.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you having me, man. It's an honor and it's a blessing. Not just, for you to have me on, but it's an honor and a blessing to be even considered a mentor. I never even considered myself to be a mentor until like you actually said it. And I was like, well, I guess when you look at it in that aspect, I guess I am. I guess it was. And as you said earlier, we kind of grew to that. It wasn't something that, we sat out and sat down and said, hey, hey, big bro, can you be my mentor? And I'm like, yeah, we didn't, it wasn't like that. It was just, we grew to that. You know what I mean? So, and it was wild and crazy how it actually grew to being that way, right? Like, there's times you would call me about certain things, like you say, I would be like, well, I know I've been through that. I know I've witnessed it and, experienced it myself. But one thing I was always careful of was putting my own knowledge, experience, and trying to impart that in you. Because, there's a lot of times we would have conversations, and the first thing I tell you is, let me go pray about it first.
Yep.
Because I never wanted to say things to you based on, well, here's how I handle it, or this is what I know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I consider it, again, an honor and a privilege, man. Not to say that, I'm Christ, but, one of the best mentors that ever walked the face of the earth was Christ.
Yeah.
He discipled 12 people, right? To carry on what he instilled in them. You know what I mean? So when you say mentor, that's the reason why I consider it an honor and a blessing, right? Because to be even mentioned as a mentor, knowing how Christ mentored, then it's been a blessing. It really has.
No doubt, bro, man. I appreciate you. And tonight, bro, we just gonna touch on. I want to kind of touch on the spiritual side, in the career path, and then just with your purpose and your passion, because you've mentored me in all those areas, bro. And so I just want to kind of share and dialogue. So those that are watching now, those that are watching later, they'll kind of have an understanding of just that mentorship process. And so, bro, in every industry, bro, I think it boils down, just when it comes to the career field, it boils down between having talent and then who you know. So you have to have a great talent for people to see you and notice you. And then it's also who you know, bro, because I know just in my industry, there's some people that are not talented and they know people. And then all of a sudden you see them flying through the ranks.
Yeah.
And while they're flying through the ranks, they're learning the processes and procedures. And so I think, bro, how vital is mentorship, bro, nowadays to reach a certain level of success? How do you feel? How vital is mentorship to you, bro?
Well, it's very vital. But we got to also consider when we're talking about mentoring, particularly in the business world, the corporate world, it's got to be the right fit, though, right?
Okay.
Some people want to look at people like, I know when I first got into the corporate world and I got out of the military, I was trying to find someone that I can actually kind of pattern myself after. I was new to corporate. I didn't know a lot about corporate. And Charles Coney was somewhat my mentor in the corporate world. But I knew that he knew the right things, and you can tell that by the way he maneuvered and the things he stood up for at work, particularly back then from an African American standpoint. The company that I worked in, there was out of 300 people, there was only about 5 of us that was in the group, but he still stood up for us, from an African American standpoint. So with that being, me seeing that, I knew, okay, this man has integrity. He's not going to compromise who he is. We were going to church. We ended up going to the same church together. So I knew him from a spiritual standpoint. He was there every Sunday. He was involved in church, so when you start talking about mentoring, it's important, but it's more important to ensure that you're being mentored by the right person.
Okay.
Right. And then, like you said, it's good to have someone to be able to navigate, help you navigate through some of the things of, the corporate world. How do I handle, a meeting? Right? How do I handle difficult situations at work? Because we're all going to have difficult situations. You're not, every coworker that you encounter in your work life is not going to always be, the best coworker in the world. So, how do I handle this situation that I'm in? Having that person to be able to go talk to and, and just really, bounce some ideas off of. Currently right now in my, the company that I work for, the organization I work for, when you're talking about mentoring, without a doubt, we straight up tell you, hey, my job as your mentor is not to tell you what to do, right? Right? It's your job to bring to me what you want to do, and it's my job to help you navigate what you want to do. Right? So, and I think sometimes people get that confused. They feel like if I have a mentor, the mentor is supposed to tell me what to do in order to get to where I want to be. Right? And it's really the opposite. You got to tell me what you want to do, and we are going to help you get to where you're going to get to. I'm not going to do it. We are going to help you get to where you need to get to.
Yeah, no doubt. So I want to go back to something you mentioned about your personal mentor in the career field. Just in life in general, bro, what traits should people look for when seeking out a mentor. I know me and you, it just kind of happened that way. But people that are intentional about mentorship, just in any area of their life, bro, what traits should they look for when seeking out a mentor?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I have the exact answer for everyone. Because
Yep.
I can see that being different for a lot of people, right?
Okay.
But I mean, for me, I always look for, again, someone with integrity,
Yep.
someone that I knew had a drive, right? That
Right.
they really knew what they wanted to do and was willing to go do it.
Yep.
Someone who can receive open criticism, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Someone
Yep.
who
Yep.
can, when you can look at someone in the face and tell them, hey, look, that's not right. And
Right. Right.
they don't take offense to it. They got to
Right.
have some tough skin. You got to be able to have some tough skin. And again, you got to know what you want, right?
Yeah.
And that
Yep.
person needs to know, you got to see that person has the same traits as you, right? If I'm looking for a mentor, as I spoke earlier about Charles being my mentor, I knew what I wanted, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
I saw that in Charles. And when I saw that in Charles, I could say, okay, all right, I can pattern myself off of him because I knew what I wanted for me. Now, for
Right.
someone else, that could be different. That could be totally
Right.
different, right? So that's
Yep.
the reason why I say I don't know if there's a right answer specifically, but I would
Yep.
say you have to see what you want and find that person that is almost like you
Right.
and seek that individual. And I say almost because if it's the exact same person, then what you're really doing is creating a mini me, right? And that's not what you
Uh,
really want, right? You need to be your own
right.
individual, and that person needs to be able to be, in tune with that enough to be able to tell you, no, your communication skills is better than your functional skills. So let's maneuver you more into a communication type role, even though that
Yeah.
person may be in a total functional role, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that mentor, you got to make sure that mentor can actually see the good and the value in you to be able to bring that out of you, right? Without just straight up telling you, hey, look, like with you, I saw a lot of me in you, right? I saw
Right.
growing up, I saw a young man that was passionate, that knew what he wanted to do the right things in life, was trying to do everything he can to do the right things in life, right?
Right.
Um,
Yep.
and from that is where we got to when you would come and ask me certain things, I would say certain things to you in a way that, okay, all right, you need to go figure this out, but
Right.
this is where I see you at, and this is what I see you're trying to get to, right?
Yep. Yep. Cool. Yeah, bro. I remember this. I think this was what really I knew that you played an important role in my life was in I don't remember exact year. It had to be maybe '05. And I was just going through a very, very difficult time in life, bro. Um, I want to say I was in the trying to really figure out my purpose in life. And I was working 2 or 3 jobs. I had just moved out of my parents' house, so I kind of left the nest, living on my own. And bro, I felt like I was lost, bro. I didn't know what my purpose was. Um, I was really in a dark space, just to describe a really dark space. And we were at church, bro. We were at church. No, I was at church, and I just left. I just left, bro. And I was tired, bro. I was riding down 285, bro. I remember like yesterday. And I was like, man, I'm done with life.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, I was on 285 getting close to the Chattahoochee. I'm like, man, I could really just run my car off the expressway and be done with life.
Yeah,
And man,
yeah,
you call my phone, bro.
yeah.
Bro, I don't know what made you call, bro. But you called my phone that day, bro. And but I know that had to be God speaking to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And bro, you said, man, you said, bro, come back. You said, come back. And bro, I just started crying to you, bro. You know what I mean?
I remember.
Because just even during that time, bro, I just didn't, I felt, I had the tough guy syndrome, bro. Where men don't cry. And that's something just amongst men that we got to break out of. Is like, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
And bro, I just started crying. You said, bro, just come back. And then when I got back to you, bro, I just cried. And you shared some things, man, with me personally. It kind of, it made a lot of sense, bro. And bro, I'm telling you, man, I wasn't trying to get on here and shed no tears, boy. but
Got me up here crying.
But what you showed me, bro, was, man, that it's okay to be vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay to be vulnerable. And I learned that from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How to be vulnerable, that it's okay for men to express their emotions. Because, man, I love my pops, but I never seen him, express his emotions growing up as a kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you really taught me that, bro. You know what I mean? It's okay to say how you feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be open. And I thank you for that, bro. And if I could tell anybody, that's one reason that you should have a mentor. Because when you out there in the wilderness and you trying to do it by yourself, it's lonely. And that's how I got in that dark place, because I was like, man, I'm Wayne, man. I can do it. I can do it all by myself. I'm out here working. And during that time, Doc had got me a job. I'm making money I ain't never made before. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I don't need nobody. But having that mindset, bro, put me in that dark place, because I was still trying to figure it out on my own. Mm-hmm. And so I would encourage people, man, seek out, pray for you a mentor. Ask God to guide you to that right person that you can link with, that's been where you've been, or they're going, or they're already where you're trying to go.
Right.
And so, bro, I appreciate you for that. And I know I tell you that often, but I just have to remind you, because, hey, guys, I'm telling you, if it weren't for Demetrius calling me that day, it wouldn't be no one purpose mind. I'm just telling y'all that now. It wouldn't be no one purpose mind. I was going to kill myself that day. And that's just real. And so that's why it's so vital, guys, that you find somebody whose life you pattern, who where you want to be. If they there, man, pull them to the side. Ask them to mentor you. Or don't say nothing. Just follow them. Watch their videos. Just be around them. Because I promise you, it'll change some part of your life. Bro, I want to ask you, we all face tough times, bro. Mm-hmm. And where life just hit us in the mouth, and we're trying to figure out how to get through the muck. Bro, how much of that strength is mental, and how much of it is it physical, bro? When you hit a rough time in your life, bro, how much of it was mental to push through it, and how much was actually physical, when you had to actually physically do something to get yourself out of that mind state when it was really tough in life?
Yeah, good question. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of times when I was going, it's funny because, like, even when you spoke about that phone call, I didn't even feel like I was worthy of being anyone's mentor, right? Because I was going through things myself a lot of those times, and I couldn't understand why I was dealing with certain things that I was dealing with, and I was sitting there dealing with it on my own. Because I had been looking for a mentor, and, I hadn't found anybody that I felt comfortable enough to go to and talk to about those vulnerable things that I was going through. My grandfather had passed away. My dad wasn't in my life. I didn't have any, Charles was my somewhat of my career mentor, but we didn't have that type of relationship where I can go to him and talk about, some man things that, I was dealing with, things like that. So But at that time, I was very physically fit. I worked out all the time. I was,
Right.
you know,
I
running
remember.
around playing basketball on teams and things like that. I think it's important to be physically fit. I think it helps simply because, you know, when you're going through things and you're trying to deal with things, you're trying to think about things that you want to do, and you don't have a mentor and things like that. It's physically that can wear on you. Lack of
Yeah.
sleep, the way you eat, you know,
Yep.
your
Yep.
eating
Yep.
habits, your immune system, all those things start to affect you when you're, you know, having things you want to deal with. You want to try to talk to someone that you don't, you don't have someone to talk to. So being physically fit helps because now you
Okay.
can get through those things. Physically, you can get through them.
Right.
But when you
Right.
start talking mentally, those things still gonna weigh you down, right? So you can build yourself up to a point of saying, hey, look, I'm great, 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 I'm great. But at some point in time, I believe if you're still needing someone to be able to talk to, and that's what you're looking for, at some point in time, it's going to affect you, right?
Yeah.
I would
Yep.
say this though, more than physically or mentally,
Come on.
spiritually, I became stronger. Now,
Ooh.
and I'm gonna tell you how that came about. Again, I looked and searched for someone that I can possibly have as my mentor. I was around a lot of, um, prominent, men of God. All right, preached the house down. I was, around them all the time. Going with them and helping them, and somewhat being an armor bearer for them and things of that nature. But
Yep.
sometimes I would see some things they would do behind the scenes, and I'd be like, you can't really help me, right? And I'm thinking that you should because you're a man of God.
Right. Right. Right.
And then it'll be things that I would be going through, and then all of a sudden, Dwayne would call me, and Dwayne would be like, "Yo, big bro," and I'd be like, "I just went through that. I had to deal with it on my own, right?" But I would always go to God, and when God would deal with me on those things, then
Yeah.
I just come back and say, "Oh, now I can understand why I had to go through it." See, I had
Wow.
to deal with it before you had to deal with it because God was using me so I could give it to you,
Yeah.
right? And then you
Yeah.
look at it from a standpoint of, well, I'm almost me being a guinea pig, all right? I got to take it and deal with it, clean it up a little bit before I give it to you, right?
Yeah.
So, so spiritually, I became stronger because I knew each time I was dealing with certain things and going through certain things or thinking about certain things and how do I
Yeah.
navigate my own life, I knew that at some point in time, I was going to have to use it again. It was either going to be with Dwayne, or it was going to be with my own boys, or something. I knew it. So every time now, when I go through things, and it seems like, man, this is crazy what I'm going through. I take it all in as joy because I
Yeah.
know it's not for me. It's for someone else, and that's my purpose in life. My purpose in life, I've always, I wanted to be a father figure to people, right? I have my kids. I deal with my kids. I don't need a father figure. Nobody else.
Right.
But the more things panned out, the more that's what I kind of fell into. So now that I've accepted that role spiritually from God, I can actually feel like whatever I deal with, whatever I go through, I know that spiritually I'm tough enough now to be able to deal with it down the road and to be able to talk to Dwayne or talk to anybody else that comes to me and asks me, hey, big bro, this is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. I'd be like, yeah, God, okay. So then at that point in time, I see God manifesting himself. He's not
Yeah.
confirming himself because he don't really need to be confirmed. He is who he is. I am who I am. But
Right.
he manifests himself because that's what we need. We need to be able to see God do what he say he gonna do. He already know he gonna do it. So
Right.
he don't need
Yeah.
to confirm himself,
Right.
right?
Right.
He just say,
Exactly.
okay, all right, let me show you that I told you what I'm gonna do so you can keep being stronger about your faith and your trust in me, right? So um
Yeah.
again, getting back to physically, you need to be physically strong. You need to make sure that you have a good regimen, that you're working out, you're walking, you're doing something. Mentally, making sure that you're taking care of your mental, even if that's, going to see someone. And I know as Black people, particularly Black men, that's not something we always want to do. But I can tell you, I did that too. I would go sit and talk to a counselor and things like that. And sometimes it's very helpful just to talk about those things, right?
Yeah.
I didn't always get answers from them, but mentally it helped me to be able to get stronger when I can talk to someone about the things that I was thinking about going through, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
And then above all that, though, you have to be spiritual. You have to be spiritually strong. You have to be, right? All you know, those other things are great, necessary, but the thing that is more important is that relationship with God, right? You have to have it. And you know, I just know God, and I tell people it's not just about knowing God, it's believing God. There's a lot of people who know God. Everybody don't believe God. And you have to believe God, right?
Yeah. No doubt. Man, it's one thing that you used to always tell me is let me see, how did you put it, bro? And I'm paraphrasing, you'll remember it. You would say character is not what bro, how did you say it, man?
But character is not what you do when everybody's looking, it's what you do, it's what you do when no one's looking.
Yeah.
Right? So your character is, you know, we can all have great.
Oh, is it stopping on mine?
You there?
Yeah, hold up. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. So when everybody's looking at us, we all want to put on our best face, right? We all want to, you know, we always want to, you know, we always want to give our best when everyone's looking.
Right.
Well, what is your character when no one's there? It's just you.
Yeah.
Are you being true to you? Right? Are you doing what you're supposed to do when no one else is around?
Yeah.
That's the true test of your character.
Yeah, bro. You always tell me. I'm gonna tell you. I learned a lot of work ethic from you, but I learned a lot of it from Doc. And he don't even know this, but when he hired me, when I was going through that rough time, man, I used to just watch, bro, and work. You know what I mean? He was my supervisor, and bro, Doc can work. He can work, bro.
And yeah, he does.
And he don't know, but he was inspiring me. I'm like, man, bro, working hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then he called me little man. He'd be like, little man, I gotta go do another one after this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, and sometimes even when you don't think people watching, they still watching.
Yeah.
Even when you don't think people noticing, they noticing. And I think that's key too, just with mentorship altogether. Because sometimes I would just sit back and watch y'all, man. Y'all were really the only men who I was around at that time, because I wasn't around my homies. I wasn't around nobody but y'all. Work in church. That's all I was doing, just trying to find myself. And so I would just sit back a lot of times just watching. You know, I'd be with Doc 9 to 5 working, and then I'd be at home, and then I'd be at church, and I'd be watching y'all.
Yeah.
And so you never know, even for the mentors out there, you never know who's watching.
That's right.
Bro, yeah. I want to ask you, bro, what was that defining moment in your life when you said, okay, I got to stop living for right now, and I got to live for my legacy, for my kids? What was that defining moment, bro, that really changed your life?
Oh man, that was so early in the game. I mean, soon as you know, I found out that I was about to be a father. I mean, my life totally changed at that point in time, right? You know, I was never, you know, again, you know, a young 18, 19-year-old kid, much like you when I first kind of met you and your age. You know, I was still being an 18, 19-year-old kid, or young man, shall I say, but I always knew that there was something more that I wanted out of life. There was something, there's a little bit more that I wanted to do and be, right? So, you know, you're teetering. But as soon as I found out I was going to be a father is when I really said, okay, all right, I have to really now, you know, I got to buckle down, set the example. You know, I got to take care of my family. You know, I got to make sure I want them to be able to have advantages and opportunities that I didn't have, right? Now, what they do with them, it's going to have to be on them, but I have to present those opportunities for them. So I need to start to make sure that I'm doing what we feel and deem to be the right things in life, right? So it was pretty much early on when I found out Aaron was on his way.
Yeah.
It's time to man up here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, I think in more so in the black community, because I can't speak on other races, we as men, we struggle with being vulnerable. And I still even struggle with that from time to time. Just being vulnerable, sharing and showing my emotions. What do you think? Two questions. Why do you think it's hard for us as men to be vulnerable? And what can we start doing when it comes to self-assessing and doing self-inventory? Because if you're not vulnerable, man, you will hold back so much until you just explode.
Yep.
What can we do, bro? What can we do? And why do you think it's hard for us to be vulnerable and show our emotions?
Yeah, two absolutely great questions. One, I think it's difficult for us to show our emotions and to be vulnerable because one, society tells us, as men, you shouldn't cry. You gotta be the head. You gotta take care of everything. You can't, so you don't have this opportunity to, to be vulnerable and, to be over the corner weeping and not doing anything about it. Right. I also believe that, it probably stems from, a lot of slavery, right? Slavery, we didn't have the opportunity to be vulnerable. We had to be out in the fields. We had to take care of our family. You know what I'm saying? We had to be tough, right?
Right.
Even though we married someone, we couldn't really say that we were married. So, you have to put this face on, right? Master coming out there at 6 o'clock, after dinner to go check on the slaves. And
Right.
as a man, your manhood, you're being really kind of, you're really being stripped as a man,
Yeah.
while,
Yeah.
this other man is going in doing something to someone that you love, right? It's not even your
Right.
possession. It's just someone you love, right? And you
Right.
got to put this face on, right? So
Wow.
I think we got so much to a point, you start looking at civil rights, back in the 60s and everything we've had to go through as men, and not just us as men, I think as women too, is, particularly black women, is we had to put this tough skin on so much, right? And
Right.
once you've done that so long, it just becomes who you are, right?
Yeah.
And then as generation passes along, that's the first thing they tell you is, what you crying for, boy? Stop crying, right? Toughen up, right?
Yeah.
So and I can't say that that's wrong. I just say that, I believe that's the reason why it's been ingrained in us to have this tough, thick skin that we keep passing along to our younger generation, because that's what we were taught, right?
Yeah.
And you can only give what you have,
Right.
right?
Right.
If you don't have different, I can't give you different. But I think now that we have different, we know different. I think now it's important for us to be able to go and have those sessions, right? To be able to go and tell our young men that, it's okay, right? Again, when I saw you didn't have to come and tell me some of the things you were dealing with, right? Because I saw me in you. So I knew what you were dealing with. I knew that there was things trapped inside of you that you want to talk about, but you don't know who to talk about it to, because I don't know if I could trust you, right? And if I do trust you, what are you going to think about me?
Ooh.
Right? And I think we have that issue too, is, well, I don't want this person to think that I am some, I'm going to be honest and open here. I don't want this person to think I'm some type of punk. Right? Particularly where we come from, right? I mean, the neighborhoods we come from, right? We had to do a lot of surviving. Your reputation was everything in our neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
It was everything. Even if you couldn't fight, but you had a good reputation, nobody messed with you. So you had to have the right reputation, right? So
Right. Right.
I'm walking around crying and doing things like that. My rep is not good. So again, we carry those things with us even into adulthood. And then now when I'm going through things and things are really hitting me from a adult perspective, I don't know where to dump it. I can't go fight out of it.
Yeah.
Who am I gonna fight? Right?
Right.
You know,
Yep.
I can't go and do like, anything else. So I got to deal with it. Mentally, I got to deal with it. Emotionally, I got to deal with it. Right? So where do I go? And that's the reason why we got to be able to have those people in our lives that we can go to, be totally honest, be totally transparent, right?
Yep.
And know that person, trust that person, and love that person enough to know that they don't see me any different. They see me as a man, right? They see me as a man that's in need, right?
Right.
And when we have that, we begin to build stronger men. We begin to build stronger black men, because now I know that I've just dumped this somewhere. I've gotten what I need. So now when I go to my beautiful black queen, my wife, my kids, I'm not dumping it on them, right? Because that happens a lot. We try to figure out like, why is my husband so angry all the time? Or why is dad so upset all the time? It's he has so much weight on him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't understand the weight that a black man carries sometimes. Carry a lot of weight, and we don't know how to go and dump it, right? Other races, they'll go dump, and they know, nobody judges them differently. Matter of fact, the first thing they say is, "You're so strong for allowing us to talk about that." Right?
Yeah.
Right? It's just the total opposite. Like, you're a strong individual for talking about that and being so vulnerable. You're just showing all of your emotion. Right?
Yep.
But we as black men, we don't feel that way. But we need to. We need to be able to have those outlets to be able to go to and talk to. And if it's just simple sit down and just be in their presence and not even talk, but just, hey, I just need to sit here, man. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Do your thing.
Yep. Bro, I know you are very active with in the rec leagues and teaching. You was coaching. You was doing some coaching with football. How were you able to show those young men, those young boys, that it's okay to express yourself and be vulnerable and show their emotions? What kind of drills or exercises did you put them through, during practice or during the game to let them know, hey, it's okay to feel like that? What kind of principles did you instill in them during that time when you were coaching?
Or one thing was, and I'll start off here. Whenever my first meeting with the parents, because every parent think that their child is NFL material. Right. It's like my child is the best running back at 5 years old, and he's better than Todd Gurley. I already know, right? That very well could be true. But here's what I would always tell parents. There's only a small percentage of these kids that's going to go on to play high school ball, even a smaller percentage that's going to play college, and even a smaller percentage of that, if any of them, that may go play pro football.
Right. Yep.
So I got to ask the question, am I coaching football players or am I coaching husbands and fathers? Because hopefully and prayerfully, all these young guys are going to go on to be somebody's husband and somebody's father. So what are we coaching here, right? I got to know, if you're looking at me to coach a football player, go find another team, because that's not what I'm going to coach, right? When your child feels that they can't do something, I'm going to motivate them enough that they can do it, and they can instill some courage in them so they can take that life skill and carry it on through life, because they're going to need it in the corporate world. They're going to need it in their marriage. They're going to need it being a father. They're going to need it later on. So what I'm going to coach these life skills integrated into football. Therefore, when they walk away from me, that they're going to be better kids. They're going to be better young men, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I tried to do when I coached was, we're going to motivate them. I never went to, like, we had these things where these people, where they would go and draft the kids, because they'll say,
Right.
okay, all right, I want this kid. He's a first rounder. He's a second rounder. I would never
Yep.
go to the drafts. I would say, y'all draft. You give me what y'all don't want, and we either going to beat you or we're going to be competitive. And
Right.
I tell you, grace of God, I've never lost a football game by more than 15 points.
Yeah.
Right? With kids
Right.
no one wanted.
Right.
Right? And I'm talking
Yep.
10, 11 years of coaching.
Right. Yeah.
That's simply because what we're going to teach not just skills on the football field, but we're going to teach mentally what these kids are going to need to be strong enough to be able to overcome their fears, to be able to overcome, obstacles that's in front of them,
Yep.
right? And be better young men. Yes, sir, no, sir, yes, coach, no, coach, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I had kids whose parents couldn't do anything with them and would be like, Coach, he listens to everything you say.
Wow.
Right? And we have to sit down and talk and be like, yo, hey, look, I know you like coach, we do these things, but I was like, but if you can't listen to your parents, you can't play.
Wow.
Totally turn the kid around, right?
Yeah.
Because, they understand coach don't play. We teaching life skills here. Honor your mother and your father so that your life may be long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, bro. How much time did you spend in the military, bro? How long were you in the military?
14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
So thank you for your service, bro. That's a long time, bro.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I tell this story all the time. I said I was doing real well in ROTC, getting ready to go into the Army, but when they told me I had to cut my hair, I said I'm not going. bro. When they came in, the recruiters came in the auditorium, and I'm up there at the table signing. They said, you have to cut your hair. I said, here you go. I'm not going. I'm gonna find something else to do. But bro, you know that in the military, man, when you think about the Army, you just think tough. Did they provide, like, some of your sergeants, people that were over you, were they counseling you guys like along that journey, especially like that first couple weeks in? Were they counseling you guys and mentoring? How was that process? Because I know you guys were doing a lot of physical. But what about that coaching and development side? Did that play any? Did that impact you in any way, form throughout your time in the Army?
For me, I'm gonna say no. Now, for some other people, that may be totally different. But for me, I'm gonna be honest. I come from a very disciplined household. My grandmother, she was just this very, organized, disciplined person, right? Things happen on certain times, right? This happened here, that happened there. This is what happened. I remember I used to go to church. I used to have this nice little powder blue suit. I was sharp as a kid. And I would come home from church, and the suit would have to go to the cleaners the next day. But my grandmother would still make me hang the suit up. Right?
Wow.
I'd be like, the suit, you taking it to the cleaners. Why I have to? But that's just the way she was. So when I got in the military wasn't that different from where I had come from home. Right? So that part of it wasn't really like, it wasn't no learning experience for me. Now, as far as the drill sergeants mentoring us and stuff like that, they didn't have that type of time. They like, look, here's what you need to do. You need to get it done, and if you don't get it done, there's gonna be some consequences and some repercussions, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but no, they don't. I mean, I don't know how they do it these days because I hear that it's a lot different. But when I was in the military back then, there wasn't a lot of mentoring. They weren't sitting down trying to say, hey, let me help you with this, or mentally where you at and things like that. No. Here's what you need to get done. Here are the standards. Meet the standards. So.
Yeah, bro. And I asked that because you just think about the different areas in life: school, sports, military, corporate. There's not a big emphasis being put on mentorship. Even in corporate America, they'll have these little spurts every, once a quarter where they having calls saying, okay, mentorship program, or even just in school, like like counselors are not really counselors anymore. All they're doing is just signing you up for school. It's not a person you can really talk to. Somebody can really put a plan. It's like you kind of find those people along the way. What do you think just in society that we can do to kind of push that initiative? Because everybody needs a mentor. What can we do just as men, as us? What can we do to kind of help push that narrative of mentorship, bro? Because it's needed. Women need it,
Yep.
boys need it, girls need it. You know, young men. Everybody needs that guide. They need that direction. They need somebody they can just vent to and talk to, bro. What can we do to kind of help push that narrative?
Well, oh, great question. Part of that though is, we have to sometimes get out of ourselves. Sometimes we're so busy that we don't even see, the person next to us that's in need, right?
Yeah.
I know we all, please, and I don't even want to take this the wrong way, but a lot of us are living our best lives.
Yeah.
A lot of us are, loving ourselves so much. You know what I'm saying? I love me. You know what I mean? And that's great. You should. Self-love is the best love. But we also have to stop and get out of ourselves and say, okay, all right, what can I give back? Who can I give back to?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't have to be a lot. It can just simply be, an hour here or something like that. And also a big part of this is, how do we live our lives, right? I say this, a Cadillac isn't a Cadillac because everybody buys a Cadillac. A Cadillac is a Cadillac because it speaks for itself and everybody wants it, right? So you got to position yourself in a manner that people want what you have.
Ooh.
Right? You can't like, and I get, again, we have young people and things like that, and they're into their own world, and I don't knock them for it because I was once there as well. But how we present ourselves and how we, show ourselves to the world is how we're received. So
Yeah.
when we're doing things, we gotta make you gotta be a valuable product.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah.
if and that happens from, a diamond can't devalue itself because it knows the process it had to go through in order for it to become what it is. And when you know the process that you've had to go through to become who you are, you'll never devalue yourself. So we've got to value ourselves a lot more. So when people see us, they want us. They want what we have, right? It's like you were saying earlier. You saw me, you saw Doc, you saw certain people do something. I saw people do certain things. So I wanted what they had, right? So we've got to do more of that. We've got to present ourselves. And it's not that we have some people out there that are doing some great and unbelievable things.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't know that. So they've got to put themselves out there a little bit more so these kids can see them. If that's going to volunteer at church, at schools, other organizations, nonprofit organizations, whatever it is, we've got to put ourselves out there a little bit more. Facebook, social media, whatever it is, IG, whatever it is, we got to put ourselves out there a little bit more so people can know who you are, so people can start to say, okay, all right, I see someone that I can emulate and I want to be like, and I can look at as my mentor.
Yeah, bro. Even with this this show I'm doing, I was telling somebody that I said, man, I'm not really doing this for right now. I'm doing this for the future.
Yeah.
Like, I'm documenting this for the future, bro. I don't care if they don't touch 1,000 people, as long as it touch one person, bro.
Right.
If one person said, man, that spoke to me, my job is done.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a responsibility, bro. I don't care whatever you're doing in life. If you're just a truck driver,
yeah,
because truck drivers give you some good game. I don't care what your job is. We all have that purpose. We all have that purpose, and it's for somebody. It could be just for your kids directly. It could be you impacting your kids so much that you birth the next president. You
That's
know,
right.
you birth the next mayor or somebody that has influence. But we have that one job, and if we're not sharing and pouring ourselves or teaching values and morals, then what are we living for? Like, we're not here on this earth for us. That's why we're not here for us. We're here for people. We're here for the person that's next to us, people that we meet on a daily basis.
Yep. Yep. That's it.
So, bro, I want to tell you, man, bro, thank you for everything you've done for me, bro. Everything you done for me, man. I know every time I make sure, and for you mentees, let me say this. If you have mentors, even though they might say it's cool, this is what I'm supposed to do, make sure you honor your mentor, the person that's spending time with you, pouring into you. Man, honor them. Man, show them that you respect them, because that means a lot to your mentor when you show them that you value the tools and the lessons, and that you're actually applying it. Make sure you honor those that are pouring into you on a consistent basis. But bro, in closing, man, I want you to, as we go into Monday, because there's some people that might catch this tomorrow, they might catch it tonight, and if you can offer some words of wisdom, because bro, you always, every time me and you together, like this conversation we having is just like we just be out having a conversation. This is how we dialogue. And so, bro, if you could pour some words of wisdom just for life in general, for people, somebody that's going through something right now, somebody that's having a hard time with a situation or a circumstance, they got to make an important decision, or they just struggling right now. Bro, what are some words of wisdom that you can pour into somebody going through something right now, bro?
Right. I'll say this. We serve a God that I truly believe don't make mistakes. And I know sometimes we go through things and they may be seem like, that like it's a huge struggle for us. But we have to, you can't, there's no love without trust, right? So when you start to look at, we say we love God, and we know he sits high on the throne and he looks down at us, and he has us, and I'm a child of his. You say all the right things.
Yeah.
But we then lose patience. We lose trust in God, right? 40 years is but 1 hour to God. Right. And we got to think about that, right? Some of us ain't even 40 years yet, i.e., right? So you got to figure your whole life ain't number 1 hour to God. Ooh. So you just got to be patient enough sometimes to be able to hear God and hear God's voice. If you really seek God and want to hear his voice, he'll speak to you directly. Yeah. Right? So if there's anything I say, people who are going through things and they're struggling with some things, is just be patient and hear from God. Right? Don't move thinking that you don't move thinking that you heard from God. Move knowing you heard from God. Because when you know that you heard from God, everything you touch is going to be like gold. Right? So just be patient. If God hasn't answered you yet, there's a reason why. And I'll say this. He could have answered you. But whatever his answer is, you got to be willing to accept his answers. See, sometimes we want to hear what we want to hear. Ooh. And if it ain't what we want to hear, then it's like, well, that ain't God. Right? That can't be God, because that ain't what I want to hear. Yeah. When you go to God and you ask him, right, you got to be open enough to be able to receive his answer. Right? So if you're going through something right now, God hasn't answered you, I would say go sit down, keep praying, and empty yourself. Empty you so God can pour into you. Right? It's got to be new. It's got to be new wine in the new wineskins. You can't put new wine in the old wineskin. It's going to seep out. Yeah. So go clean yourself out so God can pour into you.
Hey, y'all, you're now tuned to another.
Brother, I love you.
Hey, love you, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, I love
Hey,
you.